Oh, ooh, it's too bright. It is 4:17 and 50.2 degrees, and I'm gonna wake up. Day 2, April 4th. Beautiful morning to you guys. It is 7:08 a.m. and 50.8 degrees. Beautiful sunrise happening just over my right shoulder back there. The sun only just crested the tops of those mountains out there to the east, southeast of where I am. More like southeast. Yeah, just wanted to catch you up. So I made a couple notes so I wouldn't waste your time. Let me pull them up as I waste your time. So yesterday was a fun day. Definitely left Crazy Cook. I think we got on trail at about 10:40 in the morning and kind of noodled our way through the Big Hatchet Mountains, staying mostly to like old creek beds and lowlands, and didn't really go up any of the mountains. Had a little bit of elevation, but really nothing. Really pretty much nothing. Did about 16.8 yesterday, and at that first water cache, decided to do as most hikers are doing, at least this year, if not in years prior as well, which is to jump off onto Commodore Road. And I did about 3 more miles after the water cache and camped at the junction, for the Thomas Canyon Windmill. Camped right up there at the junction of the spur to get to the windmill. And it was a mild night, man. It was really nice. I did the cowboy camping. It was beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful. There were definitely a couple of gusts that would kick up from time to time, but for the most part it was deadly quiet, pretty calm. I think the lowest it got was about 48 degrees, so super mild, just great sleeping weather. Really can't complain about any of that. Set an alarm for 4:15. I wound up waking up at about 3:45, and then kind of deciding to go back to sleep for that last 30 minutes. Alarm woke me up at 4:15, and I just kind of jumped up and started getting ready. Had my breakfast, had my coffee, had my constitutional, as it were. I'll say the Kulo Clean works great. I'm sure you wanted to hear it. Took about maybe 1/4 liter of water, so not too much. Yes, that was really, really nice. And then about 5 o'clock in the morning, started hearing some coyotes just a few minutes before 5, sometime between 4:45 and 5 a.m. Started hearing a family of coyotes whooping and whopping and whoop, 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 all that sort of thing. Not so much howling, but just making their little whoop, whoop, things like that. A whole little family of them waking up. Not particularly close by, and I'm sure it wouldn't have come out, the audio, or else I would have tried to record it for you. But yeah, before I went to sleep, I was just laying in my bunk, sort of stargazing. As I've mentioned, 2 nights ago now was the full new moon. So the sky was dark, dark, dark. And I'm not sure if I've ever seen that many stars. I know I've never seen that many stars with that level of quiet. Not a car, not a machine, not a bird, not an airplane, not a train, nothing like that. So really a pretty unique and magical experience. I took the time to oh gosh, what's the word? I took the time to kind of utilize some of the lessons I'd learned from a book I read this past winter called something along the lines of like How to Read, The Lost Art of How to Read Nature's Signs or something like that. I think it's by a guy called Tristan something, a British writer. And some of the lessons, some of the notes I took down from that book were about star identification and how to find the North Star. So I did take some time last night and located the Big Dipper, located Cassiopeia, and used those to identify the North Star, which was actually, I mean, not that it was super helpful this morning because I'm pretty much just road walking for like 8 miles or something today to start the day. But it was nice to be able to just glance up. Yep, that's north. Cool. I'm bearing slightly west of north, and I am on track. And that's a great thing to be able to do, especially when it's dark out. So that was really cool. Being able to kind of not really navigate by the stars, but just kind of confirm bearing with the stars. I did break camp at 5:24. It was just about 50 degrees. I used my headlamp until like 6:27 or something, and at that point, while the sun hadn't risen, there was just enough light in the sky that I could see where I was going, so that was good. Just about 6:30. Heard my first bird at 6 in the morning. Still not many birds. That was a black-throated sparrow. I've heard several of them now, which is pretty nice. But I don't think it's going to be like the AT. There's no such thing as bird 30, at least not yet that I've identified. And then sun kind of barely broke the tops of those mountains back there at about 7:03. So now I'm in sunlight. It is not yet anything near as close to as warm as it will be, but kind of my plan today, hike as far as we want this morning, you know, maybe 15 or something like that. And well, we'll kind of see how we go. I mean, I'm kind of thinking I'll do something similar to what I did yesterday and hike until it starts getting hot. I'll probably take a break earlier because it was getting hot before I stopped yesterday. Maybe around 1, 2, 3, something like that. Start thinking about finding a nice siesta spot and just kind of, you know, not do a full-on pitch or anything, but just lay down with my umbrella and either snooze or finish processing the video I didn't process last night because of the stars, and just kind of rest up for a little bit, and then hopefully plug away another few miles. Hopefully plug away another 3, 2, 1, 5, 7, who the heck knows, whatever we feel like, really. That's the trail ahead. Today I think we're going to be doing kind of much of the same what we did yesterday, less so much noodling through a range and more kind of skirting along the side, sort of like you can see right here, these mountains, and I'm kind of off on the east side of this range. That's the Big Hatchet Mountains, and that's mostly what it's going to be until I get back to Lordsburg. Another few days is just kind of hiking along mountains. So anyways, plenty of blabbering this morning. I'm excited. I'm feeling really, really good. Super excited. My shins are just a little bit tight. I did tape up my toes a little bit last night. Nothing crazy going on, but just want to get ahead of it. But other than that, I mean, spirits are high. Body's feeling pretty good. And boys, girls, it's day 2. We are going to hike. So I'll check in with you guys a little later. Talk to you then. Good afternoon, folks. It is 11:09, 72.9 degrees, but that is a very warm 72.9. We are just about to begin descending off of, well, I shouldn't really say descending, but we kind of climbed up sort of like the skirt of Little Hatchet Mountains, and rode along the east side of that ridge, which you can see right here. That's all the Little Hatchet Mountains. I thought I'd just point out where we're coming from. Let me grab my handy dandy pointer. All right, I'm not gonna be able to do this with the windscreen on, so pardon the wind. This is the Big Hatchet Mountain Peak and the Big Hatchet Mountain Range. Crazy Cook is on the other side of those mountains. So yesterday we came from Crazy Cook through these mountains, down and around the tail of the range there. And last night I camped somewhere right around here, and then woke up, finished that road walk out, crossed Highway 81, and now we're here. Ooh. I'm trying to pick up my trekking pole, pardon me. Yeah, I mean, it's been a good day so far. I crossed Highway 81 about 5.5 miles ago or so. There is a water cache there. That was water cache number 2. So stopped for a little bit, drank some water, left there at about 9 o'clock. So it's been about 2 hours, and as I said, it's been about 5 miles since I was there, a little more than 5 miles since I was there. Looking ahead, we have about another, I don't know what, 7 or 8 miles to get to the next water source, which is definitely going to be where I post up for a little bit. Once again, I'm still feeling good, but the heat of the day is coming on, and it's not quite here yet, but I know it's coming. So I think the plan is get down to that next water source, a big water tank or something like that, and then just potentially take a little siesta there. Although even by the time I get there, that will have been a 21-mile day. We'll kind of see how we go, but we'll get down there and then figure it out from there. So hope you're enjoying the hike so far. I know I sure am. I'll talk to you all later. All right, folks, it is 2:42, 79.2 degrees, and I'm reaching the water tower over there. Notice off on the right side though, a dark shape. I'm not sure if it'll come out on the video or not. Looks like a cow, but I've heard tell of a bull around these parts. A pretty territorial kind of bull. So I could definitely use the water, and this is definitely the place that I had earmarked for siesta. So I'm gonna make my way over there. But I mean, it's funny, man. Yeah, in the desert, you hear about rattlesnakes and things. You don't really hear about bulls. I don't see any horns on this bovine. Now this bovine is aware of me and appears to be moving away. So I think we'll call that a win. I'll go get some water, find some shade, probably spend a couple hours here. I did crossed paths with Scout, who I met back in Lordsburg a few days ago. He was, again, I'll just mention, he was hiking south from Lordsburg on account of his having missed any bookings for the shuttle. So he's hiking south out of Lordsburg to Crazy Cook, and then catching one of those morning shuttles back. You know, instead of going back empty, it'll go back with a hiker or two, or however many there are, really. So that's pretty cool. It was cool to see him, because I was kind of wondering where I would see him on this journey of ours. But with me heading north, him heading south, it's kind of only a matter of time. So, all right, we're pretty close to this water tower now. I'm sure that Joe will be not far behind. You may have also noticed the maiden deployment of my sun umbrella here. Whew, it's not very comfortably mounted, but the shade is huge, so I'll keep dodging all these landmines, make my way over to the water, and definitely take a little rest. So I'll check in with you guys later. Alright, well, that water tank over there is where I got my water. Thought I'd kind of show you my digs here. Ever luxurious CDT Siesta spot. So I have my little mat, my little gray 1/8 inch Gossamer Gear foam mat. I have my Thermarest Z seat that I'm going to use as a pillow. This is indeed just big piles of cow poo, probably about 4 feet away from where my head will be. But honestly, 4 feet away is about the best I could hope for in this in this sort of environment, to be honest, because there is just poop everywhere. Something I wasn't able to do yesterday at my little siesta spot is what I'm about to do now. You notice this really awesome looking pond behind me here. Well, I don't really have too much to say about this pond, other than that I'm thankful that's not where I got my water. But there's this hose with far cleaner water coming out of it. Still, I got my water from the tank, but what I'm gonna do, sit down here for a couple minutes and soak the dogs, man. My feet are barking, boy, and they have just been hot this whole hike, so this is gonna feel good. Oh God, nice and cool. Yeah, so I'm gonna go ahead and sit here, soak these feet for a few minutes, and then I'm going to filter some water. I'm gonna elevate my feet up on my pack, and I'm gonna get into some very, very serious siesta action. All right. Whew. Well, folks, we've made it to the end of another pretty good day. I am yet again completely pooped. I've done, I think, just a touch over 28 miles according to Gaia, and I am just reaching, if you can see the reflection, maybe 50 feet, 70, well, probably 100 feet away. That's the bear box that the CDT uses for water caches. So Joe was someplace back there behind me. We were both talking about posting up here for the night. I'm not sure where he's at. He'll usually come straggling just a few minutes behind. According to the old hand trick, which is to hold your hand out as far as you can and keep it just below the sun. I think we have maybe a little under, maybe just a little under an hour before the sun kisses below the horizon. That trick is basically, sit the sun on the top of your top finger, then every finger is 15 minutes. So one full 4-finger hand is an hour, and that's how that works. Here's a pretty neat little style. Oh man, this one's tight with a pack. Yeah, man, today was definitely a good day. Definitely 28 miles, pretty happy with that. Not feeling completely dead, but definitely feeling completely pooped, which is just fine. So definitely what I'm feeling the most is just my feet. My feet are kind of not a mess or anything, but just aching and rubbing and all sorts of things like this. So, so I'll tape them up again tonight and see if that does a little bit better for me tomorrow. The wind is definitely up today compared to yesterday. I'm not sure where that bear box just went. The wind is definitely up today compared to yesterday, but I think all the same I'm going to try and cowboy camp. I just really enjoyed the heck out of that last night, so we'll try it again, press our luck, try it again and see how we go. And yeah, guys, thanks so much for watching. Definitely appreciate it. Big shout out to Heater and Big Green, two of my friends from the Appalachian Trail last year, who are going to be starting their northbound thru-hike attempt of the CDC tomorrow. So that's pretty cool, April 5th. They should catch up to me in no time, and I look forward to seeing them again. So I look forward to seeing them in some of the upcoming videos. I definitely look forward to seeing them in person. So guys, have a great night. I will talk to you tomorrow. Well guys, this is going to be home for the night, this little patch. I didn't actually turn back on to show you my patch of dirt that I'm going to sleep on tonight, though. Something I forgot to say yesterday, but really meant to. But was just too pooped, and even though I'm even more pooped tonight, don't want to forget it again tonight. And that's just a huge, huge, huge thank you to my beautiful wife, Daphne. Really and truly, without her, I couldn't be out here. I just really couldn't be out here. So she's been incredibly supportive of me last year on the AT, and just super encouraging, super supportive of me coming out again this year to spend another 5 months sleeping on the dirt on the CDT. And you know, I'd say without her, I wouldn't be able to make my dreams come true. But really and truly, the biggest dream of all is having a gal like her in my life. So thank you so much to Daphne. Really, really appreciate you. Really love you. And yeah, with that, I'm gonna go ahead and roll out my mat and bunk up on the dirt. So have a great night, guys. All right, I'm coming back on one more time just to show you what my cowboy camping setup looks like. Definitely pretty luxurious. Some of the details are that the sun's setting over there, which means that that's the west. West, southwest is kind of the direction of the prevailing wind. And there's this big bush right here, big old thick bush, which would not be fun to walk through, but hopefully it'll kind of help cut some of that wind, which you're probably hearing right now because I didn't put on the windscreen. Also, Joe is here. Hey, Joe. I'm gonna come around this side so we can actually get you in at the background. There he is. Joe, yay. He's getting a camp all set up, obviously. And then one last thing, I'll just show you how these water caches look. So bear box. There you have it. Obviously that's my food bag and fanny pack with food in it. So since there's a bear box, I may as well use it for bear box stuff like food. They also have these little trail logs in them as well. Hand sanitizer and plenty. This one's completely full and this one's mostly completely empty of sunscreen. So that's pretty good. And now I'm gonna lay down for real.